OMG. Word on the street is that the feds have named Mary J. Blige as one of Diddy's alleged freak-off associates. They're claiming that she allegedly helped Diddy set up other women and force them into these so-called freak-offs. Can you believe it? It's like a Hollywood thriller, but make it real life. Now, Mary and Diddy have had this weird relationship for years, and it looks like we might finally know the real reason behind it. But wait. It gets even wilder. The streets are now saying that she allegedly helped Diddy pimp out Aaliyah to Jay-Z and that she knows more about Aaliyah's death than we thought. I know, right? It's a lot to take in. The feds aren't playing around, y'all. They're coming with receipts to back up these wild claims. It's becoming clearer by the day that Diddy, aka the Diddler, as some are calling him now, is watching his inner circle get smaller by the minute. His public image, it's crumbling faster than a sandcastle in a hurricane. Now let's rewind a bit and talk about Mary and Diddy's relationship. These two have been tight since the early 90s, with Diddy producing some of her first albums, including her debut, What's the 411? We're talking about a 33-year friendship here, older than a lot of us. Diddy has always showered Mary with praise. In an interview, he said, "Mary J. is one of the greatest storytellers in R&B history. She created a lane for women around the world to speak their truth to power, so nobody deserves this success more than her. More than being my sister and my best friend, she will forever be a pioneer and the queen of hip-hop soul who remains an unstoppable force that can accomplish anything she sets her mind to." Talk about high praise. But their relationship hasn't always been smooth sailing. In the late 90s to early 2000s, things between Diddy and Mary got real rocky. They had a falling out that got so messy, they were barely speaking for a few years. Eventually, Mary came clean and took the blame for the whole thing. She admitted she was a complete mess back then, saying she couldn't keep her life together, let alone hold down a solid friendship or working relationship with Diddy. Mary explained, "The real reason we split up is me not understanding the business the way I needed to understand it at the time. He had a label, he had a female artist, he had Biggie, but during that time I was really dogging myself. I was a mess, on drugs. Any smart man or businesswoman would have moved away from me. It felt like he was becoming distant, but looking back, I now understand why. I wasn't delivering properly, I wasn't taking care of my health. Now how can he roll his dice on me?" After Diddy forgave her, they smoothed things over and went right back to being besties like nothing ever happened. It seemed like all was forgiven, you know, water under the bridge. Well, until now that is. Because guess what? Mary's doing a complete 180, trying to act like she and Diddy weren't as close as we all thought. Now she's out here claiming that she cut ties with him a long time ago. The timing is definitely raising a lot of eyebrows and people are side-eyeing her because they think she's just trying to distance herself from Diddy now that his world is crumbling. And let's talk about those RICO charges looming over Diddy. If y'all know anything about RICO cases, you know that the feds will go after everybody even remotely connected to Diddy. They might even charge them. I mean, look at what's been going on with Young Thug's case. It's been more than 2 years, and it's nowhere close to being over. After the raid on Diddy's Miami houses in March, Homeland Security released a statement saying, "Earlier today, Homeland Security Investigations New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSY Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners." Diddy's lawyers slammed the feds and claimed it was a witch hunt. They said, "This unprecedented ambush paired with an advanced coordinated media presence leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name." But the feds weren't playing when it came to Diddy. They were swooping in, detaining people close to him left and right. Even his sons, Justin and Christian, ended up in cuffs during the raid. And it wasn't just them. 2 of his trusted assistants got arrested too. To make things worse, his alleged supplier, Brendan Paul, got picked up at Miami International Airport for carrying some very questionable stuff.
My understanding is that there was a lot of individuals that were involved. And I think by looking at the indictment and seeing that only Sean Combs is the only defendant currently, who knows if that increases and it gets superseded with a different indictment. But currently there's only one defendant. My guess is that all of those individuals that could have been co-defendants or could have been co-conspirators or could have been involved in a RICO case have flipped on Sean Combs and they're getting some sort of immunity.
Now, here's where it gets really juicy. Rumor has it that the feds are threatening to wrap Mary up in the RICO charges unless she spills the tea on Diddy and gives them whatever dirt she's got. But that's not all. They're allegedly threatening to bring her up on statutory charges too. For those who don't know, Mary had a relationship with singer Danny Boy when he was just 16 and she was 24. That's coming back back to haunt her now because Danny recently opened up about it in an interview. He talked about how he, Mary J. Blige, and a few others, including Diddy's baby mama, Misa Hilton, were all invited to a party after the 1995 Source Awards.
Gordon and Danny Boy, they were chilling, having some drinks, and just soaking up the vibe before he decided to call it a night and head back to his room. But just when he thought the night was wrapping up, he got a call to come to another room, saying there was someone who really wanted to meet him. But when he got there, he found only Mary and Misa inside chilling.
We was talking, I think I left out, and Suge called me back up to the room. He said, come back upstairs, man. Old girl wants to see you. So I know the girl that he in the bed with don't want me either. So I went in, he closed the door and shit, and I sit down and I start talking to Mary. In the inside, I'm about to lose it, because I'm actually sitting here talking to Mary. She's sitting on the couch and shit, and we ordered some food and some more drinks.
Danny Boy went on to say that Mary got handsy with him, full-on flirting and getting into it. She even rested her head on his lap and was getting touchy-feely. Things heated up real quick, like real fast and real intense.
15, 16 years old, and she laying on the couch, and I'm sitting on the other end, and she laid down on the couch and put her head in my lap. Damn. He can't be talking about Mary. He was talking about she wanted me to come back up here, and now she on my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, what is this gonna hit her? And she stayed a couple more hours. And we decided to go in the other room. It was asleep. We went in another room and lay down. And she lay down with me, and she kind of like backed up against me, and every time she backed up against me, I would move away and shit, you know?
So yeah, they ended up hooking up, but that wasn't the end of it. According to Danny Boy, it spiraled into a full-blown affair. Mary flew him to New York for more rendezvous. He also claimed that she played him, making him believe that he was her main man. All the while, she had another thing going on with Tupac.
I had an opportunity to go out to New York and visit her a couple more times. Well, you know, that's why I was kind of confused when I heard Kurt saying that Mary was Pac girl. Because at that time, she was my girl. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in to see her. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, and you young and shit, and I'm trying to show her that and she ain't phasing me.
Well, since Danny was still young at the time, what went down between him and Mary?
Now this falls squarely into the realm of statutory, and that could land Mary in some serious trouble. Word on the street is that the feds found this out during their investigation, and somehow it all ties back to Diddy, especially with Misa Hilton and Diddy's baby mama being in the room that night. But if that's not messy enough for you, there are now reports that Mary knows exactly what happened to Aaliyah, and there are rumors that Diddy and his people might know too. Aaliyah tragically passed away in a plane crash at the height of her career, and for years there have been whispers and speculation that her death might have involved more than just a tragic accident. Aaliyah had been in the Bahamas shooting a music video, but what many people don't know is that she wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. The video shoot was originally planned for Florida, but on the day of the shoot, the director, Hype Williams, suddenly decided to move everything to the Bahamas without even running it by Aaliyah first. Once they got to the Bahamas, things went smoothly, and they wrapped up the shoot ahead of schedule. But because they finished early, there wasn't any transportation ready to take them back to Florida. Aaliyah reached out to her friend Lenny Kravitz, who kindly sent his private jet to fly her home. However, Hype reportedly stepped in and forbade her from boarding Lenny's jet, claiming that he had made other arrangements for her and the rest of the crew. When the flight Hype Williams arranged finally came, it was way too small for Aaliyah and her entire crew. The plane was overloaded, heavier than it should have been, and to make matters worse, the pilot was reportedly high at the time. Aaliyah, sensing that something was off, initially refused to board the plane. However, according to some reports, she was given a sedative and carried onto the plane unconscious. Tragically, it wasn't long after takeoff that the overloaded plane crashed, killing Aaliyah and everyone on board.
I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? I was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not. Because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. You know? I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair.
Mary J. Blige has always spoken up about Aaliyah's death with a sense of deeper meaning. Not long after Aaliyah passed, Mary publicly shared her belief that it was a spiritual murder and hinted that there was more to the story than we've been told. At the time, Mary J. didn't drop any names, but according to insiders, one of the people she allegedly believed had something to do with Aaliyah's passing was none other than Diddy. The word on the street was that Diddy allegedly stood to gain millions from Aaliyah's death, and that whole bit about Aaliyah being drugged, it's eerily similar to the stories from the women who've come forward accusing Diddy of allegedly drugging them. To make things even messier, the streets have been buzzing with rumors that Aaliyah allegedly had dirt on both Diddy and R. Kelly. We all know R. Kelly tricked Aaliyah into marrying him when she was just 15 while he was a grown man. So if the streets are saying that Aaliyah had dirt on him, especially with all the allegations we're now hearing about Diddy, it's not a stretch to believe that there's some truth to it. It looks like Mary might have known where all the bodies are buried when it comes to Diddy, and he's going to be in even more trouble when she finally decides to snitch on him to save herself. And y'all know the fans have been all over this drama with Mary J. Blige. They've been leaving comments saying things like, Mary J. Blige gives Madame to P. Diddy vibes. After she got too old to be passed around, she started bringing in the girlies for him type stuff, allegedly. Another fan said, I don't care, she's mad weird. Just as bad if you're complacent, you accept it. It's been a million years she was riding for him. Don't switch up now that the block is hot. Others are saying, Mary J. Blige knows more than she wants to say. All those around or associated with Diddy should all go and serve time, and she knew exactly what he was doing. Now she's trying to play? Girl, bye. I'm not buying it. So, what do you think, besties? Is Mary J. Blige going to be singing like the soul canary that she is? Is she really involved in all this mess, or is she just caught in the crossfire? And what about Diddy? How deep does this rabbit hole go? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. With federal investigations ongoing and more people coming forward, we're likely to see even more twists and turns in this saga. It's like a Hollywood movie, but the consequences are very, very real. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because you do not want to miss what happens next in this crazy story. Until next time, keep it spicy, keep it messy, and keep sipping that tea. This is Hot Gossip, your go-to girl for all the hottest drama. Signing off. Bye!